viewers, Tamil Nadu Electricity Minister Senthil Balaji has been sent to judicial custody till the 28th of June. Now, most of you, of course, would know that, but the drama in Tamil Nadu, meanwhile, of course, continues. Now, this particular decision of sending him to custody, of course, comes after the Sessions Court judge reviewed his health condition in a hospital and sent him to custody, during which he will continue to remain hospitalized. The minister, who complained of chest pain during his arrest, of course, was hospitalized after he broke down, and subsequent tests advised heart surgery as well. Now, the minister also here, one of the ministers has alleged ill treatment by the Enforcement Directorate during his arrest, to which the judge has also said here that the matter would be reviewed in a court and not at a hospital. Meanwhile, the ED has also moved the Sessions Court seeking Balaji's custody, contesting the medical panel report, and has sought an independent medical panel's view on the minister's health. The court, of course, has reserved this order. It's expected to, come out tomorrow. Meanwhile, of course, in another twist that's unfolding to all the drama that's happening, the Madras High Court judge has recused himself from hearing the urgent bail plea filed by the minister's wife amid all the drama, of course, during the political tug-of-war that's begun between the Congress, the BJP, the DMK in particular, because, of course, this minister is from the DMK. Now, all of this, of course, is at the backdrop of Mr. Senthil Balaji's arrest. CM Stalin, who visited the minister in the hospital, also has hit out at the BJP, calling the arrest inhuman, as it, came about that even as the minister showed signs of being unwell, that he continued to be harassed, is what the DMK continues to maintain. Now, while, of course, we are going to be discussing in detail about this story, firstly, let me go across to my colleague Dharani, of course, who's been tracking the story from last evening. She's, of course, been tailing the story and bringing us every detail of it. Dharani, it seems like this drama isn't going to end anytime soon. We're seeing politics on one end. We are seeing, of course, the situation at the hospital from, as early as, 8 this morning. Could you take us through the latest right now?
Senthil Balaji was given a 14 days judicial custody till June 28th. So as soon as this information was out, Senthil Balaji applied a bail application in the Sessions Court in Chennai. So this bail application plea came for hearing today itself, and during the hearing, both Senthil Balaji's counsel and the ED's counsel, they had some very heated arguments. On one side, justice. On one side, the Senthil Balaji's counsel, they were trying to argue that this whole process, the whole arrest process, is completely undemocratic, unconstitutional, and illegal. And they told that Senthil Balaji was not informed about this arrest, or he was neither given any reasoning. So this arrest is fundamentally wrong, and an interim bail should be given to Senthil Balaji, is what their counsel was trying to argue. But on the other hand, the ED's counsel had some very interesting points to make. They told that they had actually they had in fact informed Senthil Balaji about the arrest, and they have given relevant reasons to the arrest also, but Senthil Balaji was not ready to accept any of those reasons. In fact, after talking to Senthil Balaji, the ED had tried contacting his wife and his brother to inform them about the arrest, but neither of them picked the call. So it's not the ED's mistake that their family is not getting to know about the arrest, because we tried to call them, but they're not picking the call. That's not our mistake, is what the ED is trying to tell. So both the parties had very heated arguments in this bail application plea, and Justice Ali, who was hearing both the arguments, she has reserved the judgment for tomorrow. So tomorrow we'll get to know if Senthil Balaji is gonna get interim bail, bail from this case. And for the moment, the judicial custody has been given till June 28, which means for 14 days. But meanwhile, there is also another interesting factor to it. So now we're talking about judicial custody, which has been given till June 28. But now the ED has gone to the Madras, the Sessions Court here, with an application asking for a 15 days custody for themselves. So they want the custody to be changed from the judicial custody to ED custody. So now they're asking for 15 days ED custody, and this plea is also going to come in for hearing tomorrow. So definitely interesting turn of events ahead tomorrow in this whole case.
Well, definitely going to be interesting, Dharani. And of course, right now it looks like the courts are where the action will shift. We could also expect some protests coming in from the DMK, who have already said that this is intimidation politics as far as the Enforcement Directorate acting on behest of the BJP is concerned. This is the charge coming in from the opposition parties, led by the DMK, of course. Now, to talk more about this, I'm joined in on the broadcast by Mr. Narayanan Tirupathy. He's from the BJP. We are also here joined in by Mr. Dharanidharan from the DMK as well. Both of you all, welcome to the show. More importantly, I'd like to ask the DMK spokesperson. Right now, of course, you have been making multiple charges, but the BJP, of course, has retorted with one, big aspect that they've spoken about, that whether the DMK is against corruption, and more importantly, Mr. Stalin himself has been, seen speaking against Senthil Balaji, asking for action to be initiated against him. Now, can you really say this is vendetta by the BJP?
See, when Senthil Balaji joined DMK itself, he was told that he was informed, and he also informed us that he will fight the case legally. And he's been fighting the case legally. The point is not that. The point is the unconstitutional behavior of the Enforcement Directorate. This is not happening just in Tamil Nadu, it is happening in Delhi, it is happening in Bihar, it is happening in Maharashtra when the previous coalition was in power. So it's basically happening in all non-BJP ruled states. That is the problem. And 95% of the ED cases are against parties in opposition to the BJP. And what is the conviction rate? Less than 0.5%. And since 2014 until 2023, ED cases have risen by about 10 times. And all these cases are against the opposition parties. My question is, and Karnataka BJP MLA last year was caught with 8 crores, not last year, 6 months back. Why no ED then? Why not even ED investigation or income tax investigation? A contractor committed suicide in BJP rule Karnataka 6 months back. Why no ED case there? So these are the questions that we need to ask. The problem is the unconstitutional behavior of ED income tax. These organizations or institutions are behaving like the arms of the BJP, right? This is dangerous for the country. This is dangerous for Indian democracy. That is why we are standing behind Senthil Balaji. And listen, he will fight it out with the court. Why are you treating like a criminal? Why was he harassed yesterday? I was told that he was not given water. He told at 7 p.m. itself he was having chest pain, but still they wanted to arrest him. Why all those? That is the problem. Why are you treating him like a petty criminal? He's a minister. You could have, might as well gone, allowed him for a checkup, come the next day, come again after a day, given a week's time, because he has been cooperating. He's not going to disappear anywhere. He's a minister having 2 important portfolios. So you don't treat him like a common petty criminal who's going to disappear overnight. So this is unfathomable, the behavior. There has been human rights violation. No organization, no institution, be it police or anybody, can violate human rights. Even in times of war, the human rights has to be maintained. But in this case, look at the picture. You're playing the picture. I'm not showing it also. Look how he's been treated. And as far as I know, people around him in his residence, when he went out, saw that he had some slight bruises, and we suspect that he was harassed. In fact, in another panel also, one learned neutral commentator commented that he was physically, there are chances that he was physically abused or he was given third-rated treatment. So this is
okay. Let me bring in the BJP here. Well, Mr. Narayanan Tirupathy, you've of course not new to these charges that are coming against you. Obviously, the question will arise when the ED's conviction rate is so low, and of course, most of the people that they have been, of course, acting upon is from the opposition. When you consider, at least in the political circles. So, where does the BJP's defense lie, and how long are you going to defend yourself, saying, well, the corrupt have to be, acted upon? But the question here is everybody in the BJP clean as a whistle? That's the question that the opposition is asking.
No, see, I don't want to, get into stories and deviations. Who is Senthil Balaji? Senthil Balaji is a corrupt person. He is a cheat. He is a fraudster. He is a scamster. Not from my words.
Have to decide that, sir.
These are all spoken by Mr. M.K. Stalin.
That I can call some leaders in your party as murderers.
I expect
they were accused for the same. But court gave a verdict, so we expect the court verdict.
Otherwise, I will get out of the show.
Well, let the BJP spokesperson complete. But Mr. Narayanan Tirupathy, coming to the point specifically about what the DMK spokesperson is saying, that why is the target continuously only opposition parties?
See, let us not talk stories. Why do you want to deviate? You should know who Senthil Balaji is. Is he a criminal? Yes, he is a criminal. He was telling that he was treated like a criminal. He is an accused. He is an accused. As per the Supreme Court, he is an accused. The Supreme Court has very clearly said that a special investigation team should be formed and interrogation should happen. Investigation should happen. There is no bar for ED to interrogate. Is that right? So we should understand the background. Has cheated 48 people, assuring them of jobs. They have collected 3 lakhs for conductors, 6 lakhs for mechanics, promising jobs for them in the transport ministry. And immediately after coming to power in 2021, they have gone to the High Court. They have said they have finalized, they have compromised the case, but the Supreme Court has very hardly, it has come out and it has condemned the state government. So we need to understand this. So without the prima facie, the Enforcement Directorate has done this, and they have done a very big drama. The Chief Minister and the ministers all have gone there. They have set a bad precedence. The Chief Minister, now the present Chief Minister, in December 2016, when there was an income tax raid in Secretariat of Tamil Nadu, he had said that the income tax is the central government agency. They have their own powers and they have their own set of rules. So they are free to come and interrogate, search. But today he is telling it is unconstitutional, and the DMK people are saying. So this is the double standard of DMK. And when we talk about this,
right.
We have to talk
Mr.
about
Tirupathy, Mr. Tirupathy, hold on to your thoughts. It's not just the DMK, of course. Opposition parties have been throwing their weight behind DMK Minister Senthil Balaji. They've termed his arrest, of course, as a political vendetta. There are multiple reactions coming in from the opposition. Let's listen to them and then I'll come back to the DMK spokesperson.
Deepak, have they spoken about the corruption?
Just a minute. Let's listen to some of these reactions coming in from the opposition, who are backing the DMK. They'll come back to you.
The closer you get to 2024, the closer you will see, the quicker you will see the use of ED and the CBI in every state which is ruled by the opposition. I remember the Prime Minister going public and saying that we want a double-engine sarkar. What does it mean? That shows the mind of the Prime Minister and of this government. Double engine means that I want my government at the center and I want my government in the state, which means I can't tolerate the opposition. Right? So wherever there is an opposition government, this double-engine sarkar becomes a double-barrel sarkar. Then the two barrels are the CBI and the ED.
24 घंटे ईडी पूछताछ कर रही है तो कोई कुछ कहने के लिए तैयार ही नहीं है. सीधे तौर पे ईडी का दुरुपयोग राजनीति के लिए हो रहा है. जैसे जैसे 2024 का चुनाव नजदीक आ रहा है, केंद्र सरकार अपने हर विरोधी को इसी तरीके से चुप कराने की जुगत में लगी हुई है.
Well, like Mr. Narayanan Tirupathy, several other BJP leaders have been reacting and saying that this case, of course, traces back to 2015-17 and that the Supreme Court itself had ordered an inquiry. Let's also listen to some of these reactions.
Can I react?
The opposition parties, including the DMK, including the Chief Minister, is claiming that nothing but suppressing the opposition using the central agencies like, witch dogs and hunt dogs.
Sir, I will take little time extra to run you through the whole case, sir. 2016, 18th April, Mr. M.K. Stalinji, when he was the opposition leader, he went to Kulithalai, Senthil Balaji's hometown, where Senthil Balaji was in ADMK then. So he accused Senthil Balaji as corrupt, possibly the #1 corrupt person in Tamil Nadu. He said in cash for job scam, this person should be punished. He gave a very lengthy lecture then. Now 2018, when Mr. Senthil Balaji joined DMK, suddenly he becomes clean to our Honorable Chief Minister. In 2023, he says, oh, he's a clean person. This is an assault on cooperative federalism and all this kind of things he's selling. Now, same Chief Minister, 2016 December, when Income Tax raided the Chief Secretary in his chamber, he said, though Income Tax Department comes under the central government, it is an independent agency. I welcome this raid, as some incriminating documents are supposed to be seized by them. Now then, same Modi ji as Prime Minister of our country, the same income tax people. Today in 2023, ED, the same Modi ji as Prime Minister of our country, ED is doing its job. It has gone to the Chief Secretariat's office inside Mr. Senthil Balaji's chamber to take some incriminating documents. Now suddenly he switches stand after 7 years to say they should not have entered Chief Secretariat office because it is an assault of cooperative federalism. I have never seen a double standard in politics like what Mr. M.K. Stalin ji is doing in Tamil Nadu today.
आपको मालूम है क्या किसके बारे में अरेस्ट किया है? केस आज का केस नहीं है। 2015 और 17 के बीच में उन्हें पब्लिक ट्रांसपोर्ट मिनिस्टर रहे, उस समय घोटाला किया। उस समय अपोजिशन पार्टी में उन्हें एडीएमके में थे, कौन? सेंथिल बालाजी एडीएमके में थे, मंत्री थे। अपोजिशन पार्टी में डीएमके था, डीएमके नेता रहे उस समय, आज भी नेता रहे स्टालिन। उनका डिमांड के वजह से उसके बाद सरकार ने तमिलनाडु में एंटी करप्शन ब्यूरो है, उसको केस जांच करने के लिए केस दिया है। वो जांच करके इंक्वायरी करके रिपोर्ट दिया। बाद में पब्लिक रिप्रेजेंटेटिव कोर्ट में गए। उस कोर्ट से बाद में हाई कोर्ट से सुप्रीम कोर्ट में जा करके सुप्रीम कोर्ट डायरेक्शन दिया, उनके ऊपर कार्रवाई होना चाहिए, ऐसा डायरेक्शन सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने दिया। सुप्रीम कोर्ट डायरेक्शन के वजह से ईडी ने अरेस्ट किया। सुप्रीम कोर्ट डायरेक्शन के वजह से उनके ऊपर री ओपन किया केस। उसके बीच में बीजेपी का लेना देना क्या है?
I strongly condemn the atrocities of Mr. Senthil Balaji, the Minister of Tamil Nadu, and also the non-cooperation of the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, Mr. M.K. Stalin. The Enforcement Directorate had very clearly called Senthil Balaji for an interrogation on various accusations. We all know what had happened. Senthil Balaji, when he was a transport minister in the previous regime, he had received a bribe, corruption, graft from so many ordinary people, assuring them of jobs. And that case, he has voluntarily committed that, yes, I had accepted, but I have repaid it. Then the case went to Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has ordered for a special investigation team to investigate into this issue.
Well, Mr. Dharanidharan, I'd like to come back to you. We've heard what the BJP is saying. Do you think that they're wrong in saying this is hypocrisy? Because, while the same man was in the AIDMK, you call, for action against him. Now, when action is being taken against him, especially under directions of the court, you're crying foul and saying that, he's being made a target. While DMK says that they want to root out corruption, if you have somebody, of course, who's dealing with a corruption charge, firstly, you induct him into the party, allow him, and now even, shield him and say that, the Enforcement Directorate shouldn't act.
See, as I started my speech earlier, I clearly said when Senthil Balaji joined DMK, he assured that he will deal with the case legally and DMK will not be involved. The question here is not that. The question here is the unconstitutional behavior of ED, the Enforcement Directorate. DMK has also filed charges against more than a dozen of ADMK
just because he joins the DMK, that doesn't cleanse him of the cases that are that he's dealing with. And of course, he'll of course have to deal with his own cases. But does this clear him of all charges?
Let me complete, please.
Because he's joined the DMK.
What I'm trying to say is that way EDs behave and how they harassed him yesterday is a problem, and how ED is going after other opposition parties. My question is, what happened to the dozen of cases filed against including the ex-Chief Minister Edappadi Palanisaami, SP Velumani? Why is the ED sleeping? Because they're in alliance with BJP. That is the problem. With alliance partners, they behave differently. Has ED filed a case against single BJP member? Tell me that. Single BJP or single alliance partner of BJP? None. Now, why they're coming up
well, Mr. Dharanidharan, I agree with you. I posed that question initially to the BJP. But what I'd like to ask you here is your concern that the Enforcement Directorate is not conducting raids on the BJP or any other leaders who are a part of the alliance with the BJP? Or is your concern that Mr. Senthil Balaji has been, raided and now booked?
There are two concerns. The concerned one is ED has lost its legitimacy. It is behaving like a political wing of the BJP party only to harass opposition politicians. That's concern one. Concern two.
So if there is actual corruption, Mr.
Dharanidharan,
Dharanidharan, so if there is actual corruption that the Enforcement Directorate can tackle, and if it means arrest.
He was not treated like even like a human being. His human dignity was denied yesterday. You saw him shouting and crying. They could have come another day. This is how you treat a minister. Minister was ridiculed. Minister was seen like a petty criminal. That is an assault on the constitution of this country. And you know why this is happening? Because Modi is a coward. He's afraid of the ripples the Dravidian model is creating. Because they lost Karnataka, they're going to lose Madhya Pradesh.
Well, if Mr. Dharanidharan,
forming a strong alliance against BJP, which is going to defeat BJP. That is why they want to do this. He is coward. He's afraid of DMK. He's afraid of DMK Stalin. That is why they're using the Enforcement Directorate.
Well, Mr. Dharanidharan, some of the arguments they're saying that, the way the Enforcement Directorate treated him was unconstitutional. Should he get special treatment because, he's a minister?
No, I'm not saying he should be given special treatment, but any human being should be given.
Then you're saying they could have come back another day. Well, they have taken him to a hospital for a medical checkup. He is right now getting all the treatment that he needs to at the hospital.
No, but treatment was
delayed.
So
where does the problem lie?
Delayed. See, treatment was delayed is the problem. Can you hear me? Treatment was delayed because at 6-7 p.m. itself, he has said, I'm having chest issues. I need care. ED refused. Then they wanted to arrest him and taking him in the car. Only when the media saw him crying with heart pain and so on and so forth, then they decided to take him to Omandura and it was delayed. In fact, if it was luck, I don't know what would have happened if luck was not on the side of Senthil Balaji. And this is not how you treat an honorable minister, I'm saying. You could have come like tomorrow, day after. I have seen so many ED raids, ED investigation, where they come for a week or 3-4 days for investigation altogether, each day for 5-6 hours. You know this man is suffering from some ailments for the past 7-8 years, and he has complained of his issues.
Well, I'll take this question to Mr. Narayanan. I'll take this question to Mr. Narayanan Tirupathy. The biggest question that the opposition today is asking is how the ED is acting. Of course, earlier when I asked you this question, you went back to this particular case. I've given you ample time to speak about this particular case and why the ED is acting here. The opposition is asking, what about the BJP leaders? What about, the alliance partners? Why is the Enforcement Directorate's concentration on states where, the elections are around the corner or, opposition ruled states? These are the questions that's coming up.
First of all, you should understand that this case is not against the DMK. So this case is against a person who had indulged in corruption before for 5 years or 6 years. Number two, whoever is guilty, they will be punished. The ED will put this case to the court and the court will decide whether Mr. Senthil Balaji or whoever it is corrupt or not, they will convict or they will release them. We don't know. So the ED does his duty, it will go to the court. Number three, the ED has very clearly said, submitted in the court that Mr. Senthil Balaji has not cooperated. He was not, he did not even acknowledge the charges given by them, and he refused to sign. And number four, even the family members of Mr. Senthil Balaji never bothered to take the calls given by the Enforcement Directorate. So they have produced what they have in the court. They have very clearly said the non-cooperation of Mr. Senthil Balaji, but the Chief Minister has set a bad precedence of going and visiting accused, creating all sorts of things. And who is a coward? Mr. Senthil Balaji, who was crying, is a coward, and not the Prime Minister. Who is a coward? The Chief Minister. Fearing that Mr. Senthil Balaji may confess something, he has gone to the hospital. He is covered.
Well, let me take one quick question before we wrap this up. I want to ask the DMK spokesperson here. Mr. Tirupathy, I'm going to ask one question to Mr. Dharanidharan here. That, like the BJP is saying, do you think that the Chief Minister being there in this particular case, do you think that is somewhere trying to influence or, do you feel that agencies should be under this sort of political pressure? That's the question I'd like to ask you.
Sir, I'm reiterating the same thing again and again. ED is not an transparent institution. ED is a caged parrot like CBI and income tax. That is
No, I'm
why
asking
no
you
case
about
has
the
been
chief
filed
minister.
against
I'm
BJP
asking
or
about the
friends of
ministers from
BJP.
the DMK going there. While of course there is protocols being followed by the ED. He is in the
ED
hospital.
has not followed any protocol,
this
sir.
is
This is an
a lot
assault.
of political
See,
pressure
why,
being built.
then why did you think yesterday all the opposition leaders raised their voices together? Why? It is because it's an assault on the democracy. It is not just the DMK or my chief minister. West Bengal chief minister, chief minister of Delhi, right? Opposition leaders who have been former chief ministers, they have all raised their voice. Why? Because what ED is doing is assault on democracy. And Supreme Court has also mentioned this a month back. What did the Supreme Court say? ED should only investigate but not instill fear. They have clearly said, the Supreme Court has said, I'm not saying it. Pardon?
Well,
So the
I
problem is
thank
with
both our guests for
Enforcement
joining
Directorate.
us,
You're kind
on
of
this broadcast.
confusing the both.
It's going to be an interesting situation, of course, but it's not all over. The court, of course, has reserved its order for tomorrow. We're going to see what's going to happen in the court. We're going to keep a close track on all the developments there. Meanwhile, of course, the DMK continues to maintain, like the spokesperson here, Mr. Dharanidharan, also was saying, that this is an all-out attack on the opposition is what they're terming it. The BJP is defending the Enforcement Directorate, saying that they are just going after people where cases have been booked and investigation has to go on. Let's, of course, see what the outcome of this political battle will be, and also the legal battle, of which we will know tomorrow, a part of it at least. We're going to slip into a very quick break. On the other side, more news and updates will continue. Don't go anywhere.